Hello fellow Gunters. Today's video is all the stuff I got time to learn about the guarding qualities of the Gunlance in Monster Hunter Wilds, including the few tricks I have learnt along the way. Note that this is about just the guard itself and how to set up a perfect guard in a reliable way. About the best combo from a perfect guard and their damage. I already produced a video last week you can find easily at the Monster Hunter Wilds playlist of my channel or in the description. The basics of guarding are simple. You press the button assigned to guarding. In a PlayStation you can use the South Africa. the R2 button by default. But my very first tip in this and all other Monster Hunters is to switch the inputs between the R1 and the R2 button. The R2 is in most controllers a trigger and feels a bit weird when you want a binary action like guarding or not guarding. The R1 is just a regular button and I find it more comfortable. Of course this is subjective, but since I have been using R1 as my guarding button since forever in every single Monster Hunter, I'm too used to it. Back to track. When you press the button you will see your hunter doing a short circling animation. This is the hint the game gives you to visually know the time window for a perfect guard. After the animation, if you keep pressing the button you will just guard as usual. Perfect guard reduces the impact of attacks. The impact of an attack also determines how long will be the block stun and the chip damage you take. Traditionally in Monster Hunter there are 3 impact levels, the first where you get virtually no block stun and no chip damage, the medium one where you start getting some chip and the stun is longer, and the largest one with a big impact reaction plus even more chip. Perfect guard is a fantastic tool because it will make your build less dependent on having to slot the guard skill as long as you are good enough pulling out perfect guards. And this video is about that. The other big game changer difference is how you can now combo into guard from most attacks. In World and previous games after any attack you were stuck into the whole animation and only could guard at the end of it. Meanwhile you could evade out of attacks before the end of the animations. This was an even greater reason why guarding was so unreliable in the past games. Not only were you forced to use equipment with the guard skill but also got a much slower way of defense and without any good combo out of it and killed your damage output. And when I say you can combo anything from guard I really mean that, and that includes the guard itself. This is one of the lowest levels of tech about guarding. After the window of the perfect guard evade, you can quickly untap and tap again the guard button and you will get the animation and possibility to perfect guard again. This tech is far from perfect and has one big problem. This is that if the attack impacts you at the exact moment you lift the guard to tap it again, even if it is a split second, you can get hit. You can see here how I do perfect guard after perfect guard. But this only really works because the dummy has a very predictable attack window, and if you perfect guard once you are almost guaranteed to perfect guard again if you are quick with your finger. So this tech, while can be useful, is really scrubby and doesn't really work well, but don't worry, we got more. I still had to go through it because it is related to the others. At high levels in Wilds almost nobody uses the regular guard. This is because of yet another revolutionary change for the Gunlance. Both quick reload and the regular reload has guard points, and these guard points can trigger the perfect reload while at the same time cancelling the animation, making reloading a virtual free action. The game also allows you to always try to reload even if you are at full capacity. So basically everyone is not using regular guards and instead they use reloads as a parry because the reward is higher. The main catch of this is that there is a blind spot between the guard point until you can guard again, and that means if you do it too early you can get hit. Like with the regular guard, you can also guard from the reload for a second chance to catch a perfect guard. You can see the shield spin here after the reload. This is kinda awkward because the buttons that involved, but there is a simpler input. Combo your reload into another reload. This is a lot faster and easier because you can do just holding the guard and tapping the shell button. I actually even find it more reliable than comboing guard into guard, and if you decide to mash a guard because you aren't familiar with a monster at all, this one is preferred. A bit. Remember that it still is not perfect and you can get through it. But hold on. Now that I have explained both, we can for real make your guard point both longer and more reliable by combining both. Unlike the guard into guard where you only can do the reload after the first ends, you can reload at any moment from the guard. This means that you can input your reload just before the regular perfect guard window ends and immediately get the reload perfect guard window, practically duplicating how long you can perfect guard and making it far more reliable. The only catch is of course if you get hit before the reload, you will not recover your shields. But mind that if you weren't guarding, you would have been hit, losing damage and getting flung away. So yeah, this is the ultimate double guard point tech that you should learn to use as a second nature. With this, the main guard. Hey, point of the video is done. Then I will like to add about the last guard points the Gunlance has. Worms Take Full Blast does not have any kind of guard point in its first half. But then after being done, pressing any button gives you the multi-Worms Take Full Blast, and that includes 2 guard points. You can visually see when the guard points are active by the white shield, that is the same glow you see when you use a quick or regular reload. But this guard point does not work like the others. The main difference is that it doesn't produce the perfect guard animation, but instead you continue with the rest of the combo, which is good since finishing it usually is higher damage that would have been otherwise. The biggest issue of the full blast guard point is that doesn't get the same impact reduction than the perfect guard. For example, if I set the dummy to deal more impact, then when I guard with WSFB, then my character is pushed and stops performing the WSFB. That's bad. Likewise, guarding with multi-WSFB also can trigger a guard clash and in the same way will stop the attack. I have no footage of this one because I couldn't record it while the beta was up. While guarding with multi-stake full blast has those cons, it is still much better than being hit. An error that a lot of people make is to always rush the multi-part of the combo and then being defenseless when the monster attacks and they are stuck in the animation. But the thing is that you have no rush to input the second part of the combo. You can be all this time without pressing the button and the attack will still register. The timing where the multi-part of the combo is available is similar to the hint in the corner. You also can measure it by looking at your hunter, as long as not in the neutral position, continuing into multi-full blast as possible. Also, remember how as said in the start of the video, almost everything combos into guard, and his means you can guard cancel and then reload cancel, so you will recover all your shells and also be able to slam and continue with your attack. Fun thing, because with this last one we have brought together the 3 types of guards in the game. So, remember, you can extend your perfect guard window, making it more safe and reliable by cancelling it into your reload, and remember too, everything you do can be cancelled into the guard and by that, the reload too. And this is all for today. I hope I was useful and will keep researching and expanding my knowledge of the game before and after the launch of Wilds the 28th of February. Thanks for watching. See you in the hunt.